there's no chance for most of them because most of the people in that group are my strongest gunners, with the exception of my most original colonists have a lot higher skills. But these guys, if I find my people and stuff, like silverware should be pretty high up there, you know. And she's got like 11 in shooting and shit, but like she's got some strong stuff. She's one of the originals. I did send a couple of originals in that. I was gonna say, where is this caravan? I saw Aries walking over here, but where are you going to? You the last person? Yes? Nice. Yeah, this caravan has a shit ton of food on it and some like bedrolls and shit. And I'm just gonna make them sit outside, and I'm basically gonna kind of grab a few caravans of people, anybody that's not really needed, and for any sort of stuff that I don't really want to transport pod, because I have a shit ton of transport pods around the place. We've got at least 30 that I can see here. There's probably about 35 more, and we've got plenty of fuel and stuff. Some of them are full, some of them have nothing in it. I was kind of waiting for a few of them to load up so that I could figure out what we still had left, but we're basically really close to just leaving this place. I've still got to pull up a little bit of the floor here. I've still got to pull up the floors over here. I got to pull up their benches and stuff. They are absolutely going ham cooking in here. Look at this production line. There's only half the benches. I had to forward send them on so we could set up like the new kitchen and shit. We already pulled apart like the rec room and stuff, which they have almost pulled everything out of here. There's only a chair left, which is cool. And we've already pulled apart all the bedrooms, and we've already turned these into rest storage where they're trying to like move all the shit out of here. And yeah, there really isn't that much left. I do still need to remember to take the batteries though. They're not super important, but I should probably take them. The reason why I'm not really concerned about batteries and the electronics and stuff like that is we had like 30-something thousand steel, and we've already got 41,000 steel thrown over. So it must have been like closer to 50,000 or something. So I'm not really worried for steel. We'll be fine, you know. It's a bit, they can sleep in boxes. Well, they're sleeping on the ground at the moment, but my colonists did previously have, that didn't let me choose where they landed. Oh well, that's fine, it'll be in there somewhere. They previously had like luxurious like bedrooms. They had side tables and they had statues and other shit. In here I made their bedrooms just a tiny bit smaller, because I counted up how many colonists they have versus how many colonists are couples, and so I only needed about 22 double beds, so I don't need to worry about that. But we'll end up putting some flooring in here. We'll get their bedside tables. They've already got lights. They'll probably get like an artwork of some sort or a decorative floor or some shit like that. Where the fuck did that land? I sent it to my caravan. Okay, that's what happened. I was gonna say, I'm like, that didn't let me choose a spot, but that would be because you guys sent all this shit. I don't need that. How much over are we? We're 10 over. Well, all the corpses have rotted, so I guess we don't have to worry about that. I was trying to bring back some corpses for peeling so that we could get some meat and some leathers and shit, but I don't need to worry about those. They've rotted too soon, so they'll be home soon. And yeah, we've still got about probably less than half the colony to move out of Dryden to here to Minwick. But yeah, it's still taking a while. Another transport pod's ready. I'm still trying to send as much as I can via the transport pods since I have them, and since we've got the storage and shit. And also, they did rebuild that good. Somebody had a tantrum and broke this before. I normally try to keep something of a high enough value, like a silver table or something better, in the area so they can go and kick that, but I've removed a lot of the extreme valuable stuff. We should be able to put all the hospital beds onto a singular caravan, probably the batteries onto what I think is left in the way of yaks alone. shouldn't have to worry too much for that. These, yeah, they should fit. What's the end goal for this playthrough? To take a colony of 250 plus colonists across the world to the Landed Ship quest, and then try to get as many of the original 21 colonists off the world as possible. I've had somebody spoil the ship doesn't have 21 spots. I've never seen it. I like have tried my best to be spoilers free and stuff, so I don't want information on it. But yeah, somebody spoiled it that obviously I can't take everyone. Yeah, I want to get in here, but I'm gonna try. So at the moment, with the caravan coming back in here, we'll have all of my original colonists will be over here, plus my original animals, like Xena and Big Boy and Drooly, Bubba, all of them. They're all originals and stuff. So I want to try to kind of like protect them as best I can and see them kind of see as many of them as I can like leave the planet. That would be cool. I've never done the Landed Ship quests before, so it would be kind of nice to experience that. This playthrough has been going for over 2.5 years IRL at this point in time. So I'm not kind of expecting to get there for probably another 3 years, but it's fine. For anybody that's like new in it and hasn't seen it, we started down here. This was our first location. That was Salvation, which looked like that. That was our first location. I don't know if we were there for quite a year, but we left with like 186 people. And we deconstructed the entire base, everything we could. And one of my cooks went psychotic and started killing everybody. So that was a horrible leaving situation. But we moved all the way up to here. This location was Quillen. This was our second location. So we started down here and we moved quite a generous kind of jump the first time. But Quillen, we never quite got off the ground with Quillen. The game updated to 1.5 and my tile got corrupt. So there was no like background textures or nothing like that. And we had a whole bunch of glitches come in and we had to emergency evacuate from that location just after we had started to move in, like just after we'd arrived. So we actually had culled most of our animals and we had to abandon much of our resources at that location. I also didn't know we had a glitch that was unpacking the caravan as we were packing the caravan. So my colonists left without food and I believe they ate one of the legacy cats on the way and who may have had a heart attack, and everybody arrived upset and rightly pissed off. And we moved from Quillen up to this location up here. And this is Dryden, if I could click on it. Hold on. So we're currently here. And we nearly had 3 colony ending events at this location where they kicked the thermal generator and nearly took out the food when we started with no food. And everybody was just sleeping out on like floor, like, you know, these floor bed things just out in the wilderness and shit. And everybody was having tantrums, everybody was trying to leave, everybody was just beating the shit out of everyone. As you can see, the colony took a pretty massive hit from that. So we had, in-game, we had, I think, 3 winters of just bullshit. It was actual real-world months of shit with this colony at this location. It has taken over a year to stabilize them here, to reach a point where we actually have some kind of surplus of food, you know? So yeah, we've also had like population explosions with the animals and stuff like that, you know? We've had like 850 plus animals at any given time, and you know, we're at, what the fuck are we at the moment? Give me a sec. 298 people. this is core game, by the way. I don't have any DLCs, and I don't have any performance mods, which, by the way, for anybody that came in earlier or missed it, I'm doing video editing in the background, so please forgive my game for stuttering a bit. It's having a minute. But yeah, it's taken a long time to get this place stable, and we couldn't fight at the back of this colony, so we had to go excessive with the turrets and crap, just to keep it up. But yeah, we started moving from here back in, I think it was July, and we're moving up to here. This is Minwick, so it doesn't look that far, but it's actually all this way around here. It's actually a big old like hook circle thing to get to here, but it's within transport pod range, so it's quite good. We had to look at like over 200 different locations to find one that was going to be viable for a colony of this size to move to. It took a bit because, like I said, I don't have like any of the mods that people use for like seeing pre-locations and shit. I had to take the time to, like, you know, transport pod people on an off save and just like sit there and see what the world looked like. And then 1.6 updated and I had to go and look again because everything changed. So I had found a place and then we had to start again with the search. So I then had to delay the move for another real world month while I found somewhere. And this was the place that we moved to, and we are setting up at the moment. So I'm trying to make beds at the moment. I'm trying to get bedrooms. We've got ourselves like a stable kitchen with some food. We're constantly running out of food. And then we've got like a dining room, which should be kind of luxurious. It will have nice things. I just haven't made the floor tiles and shit for it. I've started with hydroponics. Like, we had a little bit of hydroponics in the last location, but it was the first time I was really dabbling with it. So we're going to have a couple of hydroponic rooms. And yes, I realize that the room is massive. And no, I'm not going to put it in one of those fucking spirals. The hospital and stuff, I'm going to make a second one of these. I'm not quite finished building this one yet. I also have fences around everything because my animals feel like they're entitled to just go and eat in wherever. So I did that to stop them. So that works. But it also means that if somebody carries like a chicken egg inside somewhere and they hatch, the little fucker's got to get culled. We recently got like the rec room and the storage and stuff. This is only just finished construction, and we're still putting stuff in here. We haven't got any floors. We haven't finished with the storage. I've still got more infinite chem reactors to send over. I'm running out of room. I've got to put more in here. Somebody kicked something in there by the look of it. We've got component construction going, but it's paused at the moment because I need them to do stone cutting. It's more of a priority at the moment. I'm going to make like a little animal area, which I haven't quite worked that one out yet. I'm going to leave that alone. We also have like this little heart thing is whenever I see like a natural stone formation that I turn into what I call a cutie mark, like, you know, My Little Pony and shit. And I had it on my first location. I've always had them on my locations, but I don't have one on Dryden. On Quillen, we had a moon. Where's my screen? A moon just down over here, which had like a dark squiggly thing with it, which is pretty neat. But I didn't have one on Dryden. There was no real like natural formation that kind of stood out, which was kind of weird. Everybody's also really upset because they've just come back from a caravan and an attack quest and they're pissed, but there's nothing I could do about that. But yeah, we've basically already got some turrets up online. We've got a double fence situation going. We're going to do some extra pens so I can kind of like isolate my creatures around the place. We've already got some solar and shit up and about. So we've got this weird looking prison that I'm still working on the shape of it. And yeah, I'm going to have, I know it's really hard to see here, but I've got, when it lets me click on it, we've got a bunch of these in and around the place hidden that I'm going to build up that are going to have like exclusive work areas. I don't really have one active at the moment, but I might still have a photo of an old one. It's really small, but that's what I prefer to do in the way of a production room, is everything just neatly in one room. but the 1.6 update changed it that they get like more of a buff if it's like an exclusive type room. So I did say on this map I was going to be slightly more efficient. I was going to have things slightly closer together. I just didn't really like having really big sprawling maps, and I enjoy that. I like looking at it and stuff. And I spend a lot of time, like as you can tell, like years with my colonists and shit. So I want to like what I'm looking at and stuff. So yeah. It's a little bit of a figuring out. This one took me a long time to sort out the design of and stuff, but you can kind of just see like there's another diamond there. There'll be another dining hall there. I'll have an indoor-outdoor grow room depending on the season and stuff. And yeah, the top and the bottom bedrooms and stuff will have the double beds and stuff, and the rest will all have their own single bedrooms, but everybody will get a bedroom. I think I overcompensated and there's like 300 something bedrooms, which is probably a good thing since we're nearly at 300 fucking colonists, and I wasn't really going for 300. I joked about it. I joked when we got to like 200 because like I normally roll around about the 170, nearly 200 odd colonists, right? That's a normal game for me, right? But when we got to 200, I was like, oh, I didn't know if RimWorld could handle 200 in core game. And then I was like, I wonder if it could handle 250. I'll try to take an army of 250 to the, you know, landed ship map. And then I'm like, I'm closer to 300. I don't, like, I joked about it, but I don't really want 300 colonists. But everybody has, you know, work priorities and stuff like that. Everybody has jobs. Some people don't have a lot they can do, so they get a little bit of extra stuff. Everybody has a day-night schedule depending on if they're day or night, and you know, no drugs. But if they fuck around in a colony and they keep doing like sadistic rage, what do you call it? Sadistic rage, murderous rage, berserk, slaughter, or any of that bullshit, I just take away their medical privileges by one notch at a time, and eventually they end up on no doctor care, and if they do it again, they die. So that's how I've gotten rid of a lot of the shit cunts out of my colony. So there's a lot of people that are on a lot of people on the death watch at the moment that have done stuff, but yeah, it has weeded out a lot of the really shit ones. The only problem is I have got like a couple of people like Nina here. She does stuff every so often, and I keep removing her medical privileges, but she's an original, so I have to put them back on. And I keep, like, remembering that, like, after the fact. Like, Grasshopper's in here somewhere. I think he's actually at the other colony. And he was the one that slaughtered, like, fucking 7 cooks on his way out at the first location. I don't really like him, but I needed to cook. And he kind of killed the others, so... you know, he's still alive. There's a couple of people like Mick Jolly and Skizzer who I revoked the medical privileges of like a couple of locations ago, and they just still haven't died. And I'm genuinely impressed. You know, it's been a really long time. Like, I also have like Farrell as well as running around, and I won't fix him, but he's like basically miserable, and I could fix him. I've got healing mech serums, but somebody kicked my resurrected mech serums and destroyed them, so we don't have that option, you know. So that is also the biohazard of like so many people, is I don't always notice when they destroy something extremely valuable. So I plant a lot of extremely valuable things around my colony. Like in this case, I put gold in the floor, and we've got silver, and these are like the generic silver, the jade, the plasteel, silver bookcases. Most of these, if they're less, like there's a masterwork, if they're less than excellent, I normally rip them up and sell them. So they've only got like the best quality. Everybody normally has like really nice quality beds and rooms. Prisoners get the same kind of treatment. I normally give them the best rooms. However, if somebody comes in and kicks the bed, I have to rebuild it, obviously. But yeah, I don't think give them the nicest shits that they want to join. But this is just in the beginning at the moment, and we've still got a ways to go. Like, we're up here now. The landed ship quest is there. It's the first landed ship quest I've had that isn't genuinely in like the sleet of snow. It's normally up in this shit, so I can get to it. I could probably deal with it, but I would like to move at least once more before it, and I'm not sure where. It'd be along here somewhere, but I know that I know we've got to stabilize here for like, it's taken 6 months to move, and we're not finished moving. It will probably be here for about a year, and then we'll move again. It will take like another 6 months and then a year and stuff. So it takes a while to get there. To move a fucking colony of this size around, it's a bit of a challenge, since I want to keep some of the resources and give them a chance, because the more resources I've got, the more stuff I can make. Like I want to make them armor here. A couple of people got little hats. Some people got like little helmets and stuff. I've got weapons for everyone. Not everybody has them on them because they've had tantrums and stuff, but everybody has got a weapon, unless they're a pacifist. But I want to make proper armor. I would like to make some other shit. I have made a bunch of prosthetics and bionics, and I have installed a lot of them already, but a lot of my colonists needs eyeballs, so I do need to do that too. I need to install a bunch of them whenever I can. But yeah, this is my colony. And it's probably going to take a while to get to there, but you consider that we're here. If I zoom out and we started all the way down here, I think we're doing pretty good. We're over half the map at this point to be all the way up there from here. So it's been a while. It's been a bit of a journey. We're getting there. At the moment, I've got like just caravans popping around and stuff. So yeah. So I thought the end goal of RimWorld games was to create the most efficient system of communal suffering possible. I think that that's just the average RimWorld enjoyer. I generally give my people like luxury is what they kind of live in. Like I have a lot of people currently that will have tattered apparel. There's 131. Most of them have tattered apparel because I have no tailor benches currently active or installed because I need them to do stone cutting as a priority and stuff like that. But most people will have like nice clothing, appropriate clothing for the weather. They'll have nice rooms. They'll have food. They'll have like their own weapon. They'll have numerous number of animals nuzzling the fuck out of them as they traverse the lands and stuff. Like fuck knows how many cats I've got at the moment. Hold on, just real quick. I've got maybe 29 plus cats, but like this is half of the animal list. We're rebreeding these over here at the moment. While I'm in here for just a quick second, I'll just get a couple of those trained up and slaughtered. And I've got a couple of thrombos gave birth. I saw that earlier. Give it a second. I think it's saving. There we go. Nope. And I don't want to cull you, but I don't want to train you or sell you. I'm also peeling guinea pigs as well for the luxurious furs as well. I tried to dabble with those at the start of the game, and I'm dabbling with them again now, and they don't seem to be too much of an issue. Where is this one? This one's in the way. I don't have any silver to trade. What have they got on them? They're the hospital beds. One. I can sell a couple of normal hospital beds. This is the one that's also got steel. I don't really need meat. They're good for food. No, they can keep going. They're okay. This lot, I'm just kind of waiting to see all the transport pods pack up. So I know I can send a couple of people outside with, what do you call it? With whatever is kind of left. I also want to yeet a couple of transport pods, maybe to my allies as well. Wouldn't hurt. Because, I think they mostly like us. Except for them. We've got to do something about them. But I mean, I'm sure they'd be interested in, like, fuck knows how many chairs. We should actually do that. Hold on. How many chairs can I offer them? I have a lot. They like normal chairs and shit, don't they? I also have eclipsed their bases a couple of times with just like 5,000 odd like rice or potatoes and shit. Every so often I'm like, oh yeah, Could you imagine being this colony that every so often is just like the sun is blotted out with like potatoes or rice? You know, it's just it's an offering. It's a nice gesture and stuff they eat for years. You know, what's I missing here? This box is being an upgrade. I don't know. At the moment, what they're sleeping in could be better, but it's this because we're like downgrading and moving and stuff. So what a story. Yeah, it has been quite a story at this point. Like I said, like there's just been a lot. At the moment, we're pretty good. We're, what is that? In the day thousands or whatever. Wherever it kind of sits on. We got a lot of general wealth and stuff. It's up ticking, but we've also had like little clusters. We had like a good break for a while and it kind of went like thick with the events. It's kind of like that one there. So we should get like a little break and then we'll get hit by some like really bullshit stuff. This location is half secure now that it's got turrets on like both sides. But, well, it's got turrets on 3 sides. I gotta get turrets down the bottom, but they're, as much as they're a priority, they're not as much as the priority is getting the beds made, because once this lot are ready to go, which this is empty, and that's got to go, that's basically it. Whatever isn't going in a transport pod at this point is going outside to the caravan, which I might just set up another fresh caravan to go join the ones that are just resting outside, because we should have, I don't know about sending feral. I think I'm going to send the troublemakers on their own. Bennett's can go in that one. So can you show the population graph on the timeline? I think I have. I respect that a lot. Yeah, I appreciate that. This RimWorld colony, when I started it, I really didn't expect it to still be existing. It was kind of one of those things where I kind of expected everybody to kind of kill each other, you know? Like my previous colony, well, before I streamed, I had a colony called Asora, and they were like 170 odd colonists. And it was just like, it was bliss. It was so chill. And I just kind of like, wasn't really doing anything too stressful with it. But I was just kind of like maintaining an existence with like a large amount of like, what do you call it? Wealth behind the colony kind of thing. And yeah, when I started streaming, I'm like, I should probably end this like game and then commence a new one for streaming and stuff. And I did. And yeah, it's been like the Nido colony that I made first imploded super fast right from the get-go. Everybody hated each other. They were just constantly fighting, like always, about anything and everything. They were kind of like doomed from the beginning, and I was just kind of like keeping them together in a way. But this group, from the beginning, I was kind of expecting them to want to kill each other, and they just weren't. They were just so calm. And I'm like, okay, this lot actually have a chance to exist if they're not killing each other, you know? I think this is all the big stuff. The psychic soothe pulses, I sort of want to leave them to the end. There is still a shit ton of uranium, which I could probably pack up. It's not counting any more steel in here, I noticed, which is probably why the other pods are not loading. I could potentially like add a bit more from that. This lot can go stand outside. And travel supplies. I don't actually need you guys to really take anything. I do want that. I don't want that. Simple meals, sure. Kibble. I don't really want you guys to take that much. The group outside have like 300 odd days worth of food. I'm not worried about them. When they merge up, I'm not going to have to be concerned about if they've got enough food. I also have a transport pod in the wings waiting to land on it with hundreds of like days worth of food. So I don't care if like they don't have quite enough. But by the look of it, I would say everything that said that it had a steel thing going into it could probably just get ported over at this point, because it's probably nothing left to add to it. Even though my counter thing says I've got like 5,000 plus, I did say that when it stops counting the steel, I'm not going to keep packing the steel. Like, whatever we've got for making stuff will be whatever we have for making stuff. If they can't find it, I'm not worried about it, you know? So I like making cute, wonderful villagers with horns. Yeah, you make some adorable ones. And does it happy, comfy horns work harder? Well, that's the thing too, is like, we don't do any cannibalism, not intentionally. We don't do any like brutality. We don't keep slaves. My prisoners are treated really nicely. Like, yeah. They're kind of like, apart from like the one thing I was gonna say, I'm like, the one thing that I was like waiting for like Chili to comment on was the fact that, yeah, if somebody throws like a legit dangerous tantrum and stuff, I do revoke their medical privileges, beat the shit out of them, put them into hospital or prison. But like, that's only if they're doing like a dangerous tantrum. If they're not doing a dangerous tantrum, it's not really an issue. They'll just, if they're having a tantrum, sad wander, mental break, whatever, I just leave them be. They're not really doing anything. If they're in a caravan, that can slow down the caravan, and that's a little annoying, but not really an issue. She calls getting animals peeling them, but it is peeling them. They're like fruit roll-ups. You just gotta like unwrap them, but you know, perfect the medical privileges. I'd be looking and listening while you, no worries. I completely forgot to say, like, if you guys gotta like go get food or drinks or like rest and stuff, go for it. I'll be here for a little while longer. I appreciate the raid.